Thank you for watching and joining us on this Friday morning. I am Rachel Bishop. I am the Membership Services Manager at the LA Metro Chamber of Commerce. And today we are in Augusta. Yes, Augusta. So we do cover more than Lewiston, Auburn, and the surrounding areas. We are meeting with, we're doing our chamber check-in with the American Lung Association. And we actually have a lot of information to cover today. And we have several people with us, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And then we will get started on sharing some very important information with you.
Hi, I'm Kim Shamard. I am the Development Manager here at the Lung Association, and I work on all things Truck Across Maine related, logistics and planning and marketing, and basically anything that goes into the event I'm a part of.
Good morning. I'm Lance Bushy, the Senior Division Director for State Public Policy at the American Lung Association here in Maine.
Good morning, I'm Lee Gilman. I'm the Senior Director for Health Education and work in the Health Promotion Mission side of the work here.
Excellent. Thank you guys for taking time and talking with us and sharing with our viewers and our chamber investors what it is that you guys do. And I know having this today, the chamber check-in today, was super important because you guys have an event coming up.
Yes, we do. Yep. So we are going to be, and by we, myself and 2 other staff members, are going to be at Baxter Brewing on Sunday. So this Sunday, what we're doing is a Truck Across Maine kickoff party. It's our 35th anniversary ride next year, so we're trying to get into the new communities that we're going to be going through for our brand new route next year, and having some kickoff parties. So we'll be at Baxter Brewing. We have a group ride that's open to anyone. It's a no-drop ride, so they're not going to, leave anyone behind if you're a little bit slower, a little bit faster, anything like that. So that's going to be about 17 miles starting at 2 o'clock. At 2:15, right at Baxter, we're having a free 1-hour yoga session, which is actually being taught by one of our longtime Trek volunteers who is native to Lewiston. And then starting at 3:30, so yoga will be finished, the ride will come back to Baxter, and we're just going to have a fun social hour where people can, meet, talk about cycling, talk about volunteering, and just talk to our staff about the Lung Association and what we're doing.
So if somebody wants to participate in that ride, do they need to sign up ahead of time? How do they get involved?
Yeah, we are encouraging people to RSVP. So if you go right to our Facebook page, facebook.com/MaineTrek, which hopefully we can maybe link it somehow. There is an event right there on our page, so you can go and RSVP to the event. The tickets are free, there's no charge for anything. But we do encourage people to RSVP just so we're aware of who's coming to ride and participate in yoga with us.
And if they can't ride, I know yoga, some people can't do the yoga. Anything else that they can participate in?
Just come to the social hour. Starting at 3:30, we'll be there. There will be beverages that Baxter, of course, has there. And then we'll have some snacks and things like that. But yeah, just come at 3:30 and meet the staff and meet other cyclists and volunteers and hang out for a little while.
And as we were chatting, before we went on air, we were talking about looking at the bigger picture in certain things. And looking at the bigger picture about the Trek Across Maine, if you can't ride, if you can't participate that way, there are other avenues that you can participate.
Absolutely. We always are encouraging volunteerism. That's huge. I mean, the event of this size, we're expecting about 1,600 cyclists to ride with us next year. So we have usually between 600 and 700 volunteers that help out, and if we didn't have that help, then there's just no way this event would happen. So there's tons of fun volunteer opportunities, either actually during Trek weekend or throughout the year. There's different things that kind of pop up that we need help with. But folks can, of course, always be involved, donating to their friends or family that may be riding, or if they do want to come in and spend an afternoon in our office helping with a mailing or something like that. There's all kinds of different ways to be involved. And then sponsorship opportunities as well. If there are folks or businesses that are looking to give back in the community a little bit more and would love to be tied in with our organization, there's always sponsorship opportunities as well.
Best way to contact you to sign up for, you had mentioned, coming into the office and helping out with a mailing. What's the best way to reach you guys to do that?
Yeah. All of our information can be found right on truckacrossmaine.org. That's probably the easiest way. And then our direct line here in the office is 624-0312. And that will connect you with someone who can basically send your phone call wherever it is that you're looking for information, whether it be riding, volunteering, sponsoring, looking into mission-related information. She'll make sure you talk to who you need to talk to.
Great. We are going to talk to Lee next. So I will
Sure.
let you take the
Thanks.
floor. And
So why ride is always a great question, and why do we need your help and support? And it's because of the mission work. It's because of the work that we're able to do across the state of Maine to support people living with lung disease, to support families who have individuals in their that are living with lung disease, and so that's where the money goes, and that's what helps us do our work. So, for example, for the American Lung Association, for a number of years now, we've offered the Asthma Educator Institute in the state, and we have trained healthcare providers as to techniques and ways to assist their patients and clients living with asthma to live a really productive life. We've trained any number of healthcare providers in the Lewiston-Auburn area specifically. They were some of the first folks that got involved with the work that we were doing around asthma, and up to now we've probably trained somewhere around 750 to 800 healthcare providers. So we have a whole network of individuals out there assisting people living with asthma. We have one coming up next week for COPD, similar sort of framework where we train people for a day and a half. And their healthcare providers. We also have sometimes patients and their care providers come to learn more about their condition and how they can live productively and what kind of support there is. An outgrowth of the COPD work is Better Breathers Clubs that are across the state, and specifically we have a Better Breathers Club at Central Maine Medical Center. It's facilitated by an individual who actually works with Lincare, but we work in partnership with them, and it's a monthly meeting for anybody living with a lung disease, so they can meet with other people, they can learn different techniques, they can find out what the resources are. And so it just shows you sort of how the network works. When we do some training in one spot and then we have 30 or 40 healthcare providers, and then they go back to their facilities and their offices, and then they can interact with patients. And that really helps us reach out to people and helps us accomplish our mission. And that work is funded through the money that's raised through the trek across Maine. So we're grateful to everybody that will climb onto a bike or will come and help us volunteer, because as Kim said, without the volunteers, there's a very small number of us in this office, and there's no way we could pull this off. As well, I utilize volunteers at these trainings. I have healthcare providers who volunteer through the year to help with the planning. So really, volunteers and getting involved with us is really important to us, and we're always grateful for people that will step up and do that.
so many opportunities to give. So even if you can't ride, if you can't give physically, if you can't give financially, you can offer to volunteer in the office and help out in so many different ways. Thank you. Let's switch over to Lance.
Sure. So our mission work also works on policy changes in the State House, both in Augusta, in Washington, D.C. as well, on federal policies. And we really look to advance policies that save lives by preventing lung disease and reducing the burden of lung disease on families and patients. Hopefully everyone's very familiar with that tobacco work. We have been one of the leaders on tobacco control efforts in the country, and Maine was a leader in the country a long time ago, but unfortunately things have changed. Back in 2005, the American Lung Association every year releases a state of tobacco control, and Maine was the first state in the country to get a straight A report card. That was 13 years ago, and now this year's report card is one you would not bring home to your parents, or you might hide it in your backpack. We have fallen way behind. Exactly. It looks at a lot of areas, and taxation is one of them. Our tax was last raised in 2005, and that's one of the best proven strategies to prevent young kids from starting smoking, to make the price high, or encourage older people who have been smoking, long-time smokers, to try to quit. So it's a great incentive, and unfortunately our tax used to be the highest in the Northeast, and now it's the second lowest. Other states all around New England have raised the tax in the past couple of years, but like I said, we haven't since 2005. But even probably more concerning is our tobacco control funding. 20 years ago this November, the large lawsuit came when the state started receiving money from the tobacco companies. Maine got out of the gate really well, put the money in to prevent youth from smoking, and we saw our rates drop from 40% of youth smoking in this state down to the lowest in the country. I mean, we had a great drop. But unfortunately, new products, e-cigarettes are coming out, and now 1 in 4 Maine high school kids use some form of tobacco products. And that's alarming to us, and at the same time, the state is cutting the amount of funding they put into prevention. We only fund about $4.8 million a year, and the tobacco industry spends $47 million marketing their products. So for every dollar we spend, they put 10 in grooming the next generation of smokers. So we spend a lot of time in Augusta educating lawmakers who might not see it. I mean, if you're not looking for it, you don't notice the number of people. It might not be in your social circle that's smoking, but the toll of tobacco in Maine is still very high, costs a lot to work productivity, cost our economy a lot, $262 million worth of healthcare costs to Maine care from smoking. So it's a big problem, still a big problem. We've got a lot of work to do.
And again, volunteering, helping out, you can do your part. There are so many different opportunities to do that. Don't hesitate to get in touch with these folks. They're doing wonderful work, and it's a way for you to make a difference. So again, best ways to contact you are,
So either we have 2 websites.
Yeah.
So events specifically about the Trek Across Maine
Right.
would be trekacrossmaine.org. But for general lung association information, lung.org is where you can find us, and then you can directly link to what we're doing here locally in Maine.
And there are links to Better Breathers Club, so you can find out more about where they're located in the state. There's information about the trainings that periodically will update, so it's really a good idea to check our website. It's the best way to figure things out. And all the contact information to contact me or email me and any one of us is also provided on the website. So
great. So, best way to get involved, check out their website. You can contact them there. If you have any issues, you can always contact us at the Chamber and we can connect you, because that's what we're all about. Before we finish up, I want to wrap up with Kim again,
Yes.
going over the Trek information,
Yes.
the event this weekend,
Yeah.
because it's huge.
Yes, no, definitely come see us on Sunday at Baxter Brewing in Lewiston. The ride is starting at 2, yoga starting at 2:15. Social hour, if you don't want to do either of those things, starts at 3:30. It's all free. We just encourage you to RSVP through our Facebook event. So facebook.com/MaineTrek, and you can find all the information there. But definitely anyone, whether you've been involved with us before or have no idea what we're all about and just want to learn more and come meet some really cool people, we encourage you to come.
Sounds good.